It's fundamentally a story about inequality and, in some ways, injustice in the college sports ranks. You have athletes that are laying it out on the field in practices, working in some instances 40 or 50 hours a week to perfect their craft. They're laying their bodies on the line. They're sacrificing opportunities in other parts of the college experience to help the team win games and to help the school, have success and ultimately earn money. And they're the only ones that are not compensated for that, other than the scholarship that they receive. So this is a story of bringing to the fore that system is probably antiquated, and it's probably time to reconsider a different model. Rick is the ultimate pros pro, and it was funny. He knew I played sports, so he sent me this script right away, and he said, "Hey, send this to anybody you know that are football people, because I want to make sure that that we nailed it." And so I sent it to a former NFL quarterback who's a friend of mine and a former college quarterback who's a very good friend of mine, and said, "Just read." And I highlighted the parts that were really football specific, and they both came back to me and said, "Wow, like, whoever wrote this must have played college football." And I said, "Yeah, they did." So that part, you knew we weren't out of our league. Like we were in the place that we need to be. And Rick's ability to bring out those, and his attention to detail to make sure that we bring out those themes, those ideas, those storylines. It's just incredible. And he's been such a pleasure to work with in every way. I mean, he's so accommodating, so accessible. Every time we have an email or phone call, he's right on it. And we've obviously had a good long working relationship with him. But in this case, we're super excited about what we're about to put together. So. I mean, I think sports in many ways is a metaphor for life. In some ways, it is a sliver of what the greater community is and thinks like, certainly representative. In some cases, it's almost a form of religion for people. So when you think of college football, you think of, if you ask somebody if they love the Crimson Tide, their answer is almost like, "I am Alabama." It's not "I love Alabama," it's "I am." They identify so closely. So I think the idea that sports represents society in general, or a big part of society, or part of the fabric of it, and those themes that are, applicable across, whether it's politics or entertainment or real life. I mean, sports is in some cases a microcosm. So, and I don't think it's been explored enough, and that's why we formed Game One, is to say, look, there's so many stories out there that are so powerful. You don't need to show the balls and strikes or the touchdowns. It's the backstories. It's the grind. It's the drama. It's all those pieces that make things as interesting as they are. And we're seeing the industry move in that direction. Why are ratings of live sports going down, but ratings of narrative sports going up? Why are 70, 80 million people watching Queen's Gambit, yet we have the lowest scores on the Masters that we've seen in a long time? Is, well, people like to see the stories. So we think we're in a good place to do that. LaMarcus and people like him before him, whether it be Martin Luther King or Muhammad Ali or even Colin Kaepernick, one person can make a difference. One person who stands up for what they believe is right and creates a level of attention and contemplation about an issue. I don't know if any of them, or certainly LaMarcus, pre-planned that or understood that. It may have been more intuitive or instinctive for them to say, look, this is the right thing to do, and I'm going to stick to my guns. And I think we all wish there were more of them, but we're thankful for the ones that do it, right? Because they set the example and they make people sit back and think and say, wait a second, there is a different and maybe better way that we should be looking at things. And I think he had that that belief or that commitment or that instinct to stick to his guns, and it makes all the difference.